I'd like to call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bailey.
Here.
Commissioner Gay.
Here.
Commissioner Sapsy.
Here.
Commissioner Bunting.
Here.
Commissioner Owens is absent in Germany.
Okay, we'll do the pledge of allegiance of the flag. Sorry. How you do that, George?
Go ahead and bow your heads, please. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the day that you've given to us, and we just appreciate all the things that you do for us. We just ask continued prayers, Father, for our servicemen and women overseas and at home, our first responders, Father, and especially the residents of Gratiot County, Father, that we would ask for that throughout this meeting. For it's in his name we pray, amen.
Yeah. Okay, pledge of allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we can jump right down to approval of the agenda.
Okay,
Because we do need to take E off, which is the closed session, because the attorney was not able to be present.
okay,
So we do need to remove the closed session so we can jump right down to F, which is the approval of the agenda.
So move to approve the agenda. Second.
hey, all those approved, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion pass. Okay, we have a brief public comment. Is there anybody in the room here that would like to give a comment or talk at the podium? Don't everybody run at once. You have the animal shelter here this evening. And would you like to introduce everybody?
I'm prepared to do that in my report.
Oh, okay then. Okay, considerations of the consent calendar, board minutes, communication, and recommendations from the committees.
With consent calendar.
Fourth.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Bailey and second by Commissioner Sapsy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion has passed. Commissioner minutes from February the 18th, 2025.
We did
Wait a minute, I have to jump down here, where?
those. Aye. Go down to I,
Uh,
Commissioner Committee report.
Commissioners Committee reports.
There you go.
Mr. Bailey.
I had attended two meetings. On the 17th was Breckenridge Village meeting. They voted for their next year's yeah, my mind's going crazy on me. They accepted their budget for next year. And they did a very good job, presented it very well, it was all on the screen. And I was very impressed with what they did. Their millage, or their budget for the next year, $1.6 million. And for a village that size and for what they do, I thought it was they did a great job, and I told them that also.
Oh, good.
And then on the 19th, Steve and I attended the Board of Health meeting down in St. John's. It was
26th. 26th.
Oh, I'm sorry, look,
That's okay.
26th, yes, 26th, and I had my little marker on the wrong button. And on the 26th, and it was a normal board meeting, and nothing ever came out of it that was too earth shattering. And of course, we always talk about septic tanks, and that's gone by the wayside now. And so that's one thing we can put to bed at right now at the health department. So that's my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bailey, Commissioner Bailey. Commissioner Gay.
Well, we've been sick, but I did go February 21st and 22nd. We went down to Detroit to the former Coble Hall. We stayed at Pontchartrain Hotel for the Republican elected party officials. to help candidates for the 2026 election. Governor, US Senate, Fulton, and of course, all the US representatives. And I talked to Representative Molnar. It was very nice. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
We had a common opponent. You talked. That's it. That's it.
Okay, Commissioner Sapshi?
Yep. Our last meeting was on the 18th. On the 19th, at Parks and Recreation at our new location over at the 911 building, the emergency or dispatch center in the emergency managers conference room. Just gave us updates on what's going on in the parks. Want to thank all the commissioners for approving the funds for those for St. Louis, Barrington, and Alva Township for their parks. The 20th, I went to Washington Township. Washington Township is getting ready. They're going to have their opening, a ribbon cutting, grand opening of their new township hall. I believe that is April. Tell you wrong because there was a little bit of a mix up with that. On the date, I think it's April 5th, maybe. Yep, April 5th. There'll be a Saturday, April 5th. There'll be a ribbon cutting from 10 to 2 at the Washington Township Hall. And so all the commissioners are invited to come to that if you would like to attend. And it's a beautiful addition that they did to the building. So it's really nice. And it was partially funded due to the commissioners and our.
What was the time on that?
10 to 2.
And what is the road that they're on?
Roosevelt and Baldwin.
Roosevelt and Bald?
Yep, the
Oh.
northeast corner.
Okay,
They also are talking through the same things that Pine River Township has been talking about as far as taxation and how they will handle the taxes with the new solar farms. And they have to have a public open meeting about that and discuss how they're going to do that. Then Fulton Township was the 24th. Fulton's are kind of interesting because it's very different than most of the other townships I go to because it's totally different just because of the number of people who live there and the complexity of things with their sewer system and what have you. Actually, I'm working with Sheila right now. She is helping. I received notification from Hannah Stoker, who is an attorney that's working with the township right now on the ownership aspect of the sewer. Back in, actually, I need to tell you that you probably have to look deeper, according to some of the information I was told just last night, that they probably started to try and get funding for this in 69 or 70 for the sewer system that's in Fulton Township, that sits just next to Rainbow Lake, due to that's when construction would have started. So they were probably already looking for funding back then. Anyhow, Sheila hasn't been able to find anything in the treasurer's office, nothing in the register of deeds office.
Not in the clerk and
Nothing in the clerk's office, so now we're working with permits. And then,
Looking on the county outlays as well.
yeah, the county outlays is another avenue that if we can't find anything in permits, they're gonna have to look in capital outlays for the county. See if they can find, because Fulton Township at the time would have never had the financing to fund such a project. So the county had to be the ones to apply for the money and the grants and the backing to do it, because they needed the size, if you will, of the county to do it. Therefore, it would have been in the county's name. Somewhere in the 30 to 40 year range, it was supposed to be turned over to the township, but nobody seems to have the paperwork that says it actually happened. And now they're trying to apply for new grants, need to be able to prove ownership. So I'm sure it's here somewhere. We just have to find it so we can get that to them so they can move forward. So that's why the attorney's been in contact with me, and I've been in contact with the county, and we're working through, hopefully able to find that, so. The 26th, George and I were in St. John's at Clinton County Health Department. I covered all that. Actually looking forward to next month. The doctor is going to do a presentation on some of this measles outbreak and how they're trending. What you've heard on the news is it's trending in the Mennonite community. The area that the Dr. Morse covers has a lot of Mennonite and Amish. And so they're putting together a study on how much immunization stuff has taken place in like our local areas. So it should be interesting to hear that. And then, as I spoke previously, I was at Parrington last night for the Parrington Village meeting. They are very thankful for their finances that they're receiving from the parks for their parks project. They're, I think, three major pieces of, if you've ever been to the Parrington Park right downtown, there's a fairly large area that nothing is in right now, just to the, between the main street and the new basketball courts. And so they've got three new large playground equipment pieces that are coming in there. And right now they were looking at trying to find maybe some, and the reason I want to bring it up here, looking for maybe a civic organization that may want to help with installing them. So they were going to be reaching out, I believe, to Fulton Schools to see if they had a group that may want to do one of them. I briefly reached out to their Knights of Columbus Council here in Ithaca, and they also received information to contact the VFW and the American Legion here in Ithaca. So if anybody else knows of anybody, I know the Parrington wouldn't be, I mean, they have DPW workers, but they have a job they have to do besides assemble and install playground equipment. So if anybody knows Eagle Scout or somebody who's looking to do something, maybe they can take on one of the projects as well. So they would like that because the company that sells that stuff gets like $7,500 a piece to put them together and put them in the ground. So it's going to cost them a ton of money if they had to hire it done. So hopefully some group will step forward and help them out and get that stuff done. That concludes my report.
Steve,
Yeah,
Washington Township, did they have a time for ribbon cutting?
they just gave that window of time, not in specific of when it will happen. I would assume normally they do those fairly early.
At the beginning, normally.
Usually, yep, because then so if they're getting dignitaries and stuff there.
Be there all day.
Yeah. So
I do have a question. Do we have measles in Michigan? Is that what you were talking about?
no.
Texas outbreak.
Texas outbreak is the one that they were talking about, but because of the large population of primarily Amish she was talking about, but she mentioned the Mennonite.
Right.
Because that's what we're hearing about in the news. She wanted to do some comparisons with the immunization levels here in the state of Michigan. So
Okay, just one, okay, thank you. Okay, I attended, I'm going to tell about the meetings from our last time because we didn't get a chance. I did go to the MMR meeting, which we have 4 times a year. And of course, we have signed the contract, so that's all set for the next 5 years. Also, I've been to Michigan Works and we had a wonderful meeting, and I have a pamphlet here that I'm going to give to our clerk to give to each one of the commissioners. And in here, what I wanted, I didn't give you everything that was from our meeting. I'm just giving you pages. Michigan Works, the one that we're in is with, it would be Midland, Bay City, Saginaw, Isabel County, and Gratiot. And these are jobs that are opened right now. There's 10 pages of jobs. And also it tells you how many openings there are for each job and qualifications, whether you need to be colleged or high school or, you know, just a job that you need to get. So anyway, I'm going to give this so she can give you a copy of it. Also in there's some statistics on exactly how many jobs we're getting out there. There's some more statistics on, I forgot what some of them were. There's 3 or 4 different kinds of statistics and how much money it's costing. And also each one of the money that comes in, that money is, the money that we get is used to pay the overhead also for training. And so they have quite a few coming in now that are asking for training. And, like there was one more thing I had to tell you about it. I guess that's it. And then the last page also tells you the impact numbers, how they've impacted in our communities and the different communities and stuff. So I thought you guys might like to look at it. And also October, I believe it's October the 1st, we will no longer be under Saginaw, we'll be under Isabel County. Our money will go from the state of Michigan to Isabel County. And instead of spending, I think it's a little over $9,000 to laundry our money to us, it'll only be a couple of $1,000s. So that's gonna make $200,000, maybe a little bit more than that. It's gonna make a big difference in being able to help others, be able to hire help in to do some more job sharing, is that what you call it?
I'm sure.
Yeah, and so anyway, we've been working on this, or the whole Michigan Works has been working on this for the last couple of years. So I'm kind of glad to see that it's finally coming to an end.
Everywhere in Tahoe's, job fair, March 18th, 9 to 12.
Okay.
And Culver's is gonna open next Monday.
Yeah, that's right. Tony came in and said, they're in training right now with the kids all week. And the 10th of March, they will be opening.
There's a ribbon cutting on Friday.
Okay, on Friday?
Mhm.
Okay, that should be fun. Do you know what time?
Get up. Yeah.
Okay, and
That's right.
so let me ask, Sheila, do you have anything you'd like to add today?
It's at 9:30. I do not have anything to add today. Thank you for
Okay.
offering.
And that's 9:30 a.m.?
Correct.
Okay, on Friday for Culver's. And how about you, Clerk Angie Thompson?
No, I'm good.
Okay, you guys don't have anything to say. Okay, so let's move on then. The next thing in order here would be the Animal Control Annual Report.
Good evening to everybody.
Evening.
I've had the honor of meeting a couple of you, but for those of you that don't or haven't met me yet or don't know me, I'm Jamie Haas. I've been with Animal Control for just over a year now and recently took over as director after Tom was able to take over as sheriff. So I'm my first time giving an annual report, so bear with me. We have had a busy and successful year in 2024 at Animal Control. Ended the year with another very live high release rate of 99.24%, our 5th year in a row of hitting such a high percentage. Our adoption rates this year have been through the roof. We have taken a huge amount of time to get to know the animals in our shelter and make sure that we're placing them into appropriate homes, which has really helped with our adoption rates. This year, we've also been able to add in a 5-way vaccination for any dog leaving our shelter, as well as a rabies vaccination for any dog adopted from our shelter at no cost to the county. We had a vet that has come in once a week and he does our rabies shots for any dog that has left our shelter, which has been wonderful. He also looks at any of the dogs in our shelter and gives us any ideas he has on improving their health and making sure that they get into good homes. This last year has been a year of change and growth for animal control in our shelter. We have a young crew of animal control officers, including myself, but all have a passion for carrying on the dedication and commitment to the animal control that the previous animal control director and officers had before us. I was hired in January of 2024 and was hired as director in December of 2024. Lindsay Hitzman is with us. She was hired in June of 2024. And Nathan Lean is our newest animal control officer, and he was hired in January of 2025. We've applied for several grants this year. The first was to the Luniak Foundation for protective gear for animal control officers. We were awarded almost $6,000, to be exact $5,968, to be put toward protective vests and duty belts for our animal control officers. The second grant to MDARD for monies to go toward vaccinations and microchips for our shelter or owned animals and training costs to help cover some of the new training for our new animal control officers. We have been awarded 1,400 towards staff training and 7,000 toward our community vaccinations and microchip clinics. We were also given several wonderful donations this year, but I would especially like to draw attention to an amazing donation that we just recently received of $28,100 toward the care of the animals and our facility. We are extremely grateful to this anonymous donor of this donation and their support of our cause. Here are some highlights I would like to share with you today. In 2024, we took in 291 dogs and 106 cats. Our home-to-home program means that no dogs actually have to enter our shelter and go straight from one home to another. We had 89 dogs and 36 cats. Reclaimed by owners, we had 155 dogs and 8 cats. Adopted from our shelter was 123 dogs and 77 cats. Transferred to MDARD registered shelters, we had 11 dogs and 20 cats. We had 2 dogs and 1 cat that were shelter euthanizations. Both dogs were extremely aggressive and the cat had been injured beyond repair. We do help our community out with owner request euthanations as well for dogs that are elderly or have underlying conditions that are affecting their health. For that, we helped 168 dogs and 94 cats. Complaints answered in our county last year by our animal control officers was 1,139. Our licenses sold was just about 4,000. We had a huge amount of licenses that we were able to sell last year. Kennel licenses and inspections were 88 different facilities. We've held 1 rabies shot clinic so far in 2025, and we had 2 rabies shots clinic in 2024. We've helped fund 12 spayed neuter clinics for feral cats for our TNR program. We've participated in several grooming fundraisers hosted at our shelter, with proceeds being donated back to our shelter for the care of the animals housed there. We've created relationships with a local vet to come and give rabies vaccinations to all dogs being adopted from our shelter so that they can be licensed with the county at the time of adoption. We've worked on updating our office, including a wonderful paint job with donated paint from one of our volunteers and a new floor from the capital improvements. We've had volunteer community service workers donate 780 hours to our shelter doing various tasks. We'll be mailing out our late licenses renewals, hopefully by the end of the week. And we will be starting our kennel inspections hopefully tomorrow. So the first week of March was my goal, and looks like weather allowing, we'll be able to hit that. We look forward to another successful year of helping our citizens and animals of our county. If you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to ask. Do you have any questions, Jan?
No.
So you had asked how many dogs we had in the shelter, and right now we have 19.
19?
Which is a lot, but however, 11 of them are puppies that came from the same group. So
What kind of puppies are they?
be decided. Our best guess is that
7.
they're possibly a lab mix based on what mom looks, but we also see maybe some German Shepherd mixed in with the puppies based on their coloring as well, but they're a little small to be given an exact.
It sounds like you're being really successful in getting people to adopt these, so I'm really happy for them.
Yeah. We have really upped our photo game. Good photos of animals and a good description of that animal specifically really helps people to make an educated decision on what animal would fit into their home best.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So do you have enough food for them?
We do. We've had some awesome donations. One point last year, we had to reach out to the community and say, hey, if anyone has some donations of dog food, and we were just so overwhelmed, we were actually able to share with our county program to help people who are in need of food for their dogs as well.
That's great.
It was wonderful.
Please let us know if you need food or anything like that so we can put the word out.
I appreciate it.
I'm real happy for you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good.
Any other questions?
So,
All right.
Thank you for your
Thank you for
report.
letting me come present today.
hey, good job.
Thank you.
Okay. Did anybody else have any questions for her? No? Okay. Secondary cellular telephone provider for the sheriff's cell phones.
Good evening. I had a very very quick and simple request to make on behalf of the sheriff's office. Sheriff Tom Clark requested that we add a secondary cellular provider to both his county issued cell phone as well as the under sheriff's county issued cell phone because they tend to travel, and Verizon cellular service, which is the county's main provider, doesn't have good coverage where they tend to travel to. They would like to add FirstNet cellular to their county issued cell phones as well, just to give them some additional coverage up in different areas. We're able to piggyback off of the state of Michigan's contract with FirstNet, which is kind of a partner to AT&T. It rides on their cellular service, and it's a provider that's very specifically for public safety and first responders. So to get prioritized on the network. The pricing is very similar to what we do already with Verizon, and it ranges from $35 to $45 per month. But because it's a contract, I wanted to get board approval for it.
Will this be additional, like the phones will work on Verizon when they can work on Verizon, and then they'll work on FirstNet when they are not, or will they just solely work off FirstNet?
It'll be both, they'll carry both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phones.
Well, no, it's one phone.
One phone, but two providers, yeah.
One phone, two providers. I see. All right. Gotcha.
Would it be just as reasonable to go with just Verizon? Or doesn't Verizon, does it take two phones because of the connection part of it?
Yeah, Verizon, where they tend to travel to outside the county, Verizon does not have good coverage there, but within the county, we're out of the two. So that's why they're requesting the additional provider.
Okay.
I so move that we approve the contract to allow the sheriff and undersheriff phones to have dual coverage from Verizon and AT&T FirstNet.
Yes, okay, and George seconded it. And we should have a roll call count or.
Do you want that motion to state that the IT director can agree to the terms of the contract electronically?
Yes, so
Yes, he can do it electronically without having to.
Okay.
Yeah. Since I'm looking at electronic forms.
Commissioner Bailey,
Yes.
Commissioner Gay,
Yes.
Commissioner Sapsy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bunting.
Yes. Okay, motion passed.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Okay, proposal for. What is that?
Recruiting services. Recruiting services
Recruiting, okay.
Yo-yo.
for the.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure that out, okay. Why I didn't see that. Okay. Is somebody here to talk on
I don't know.
Oh, I can go ahead and do that.
It was presented last meeting. This is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
This is the.
As you recall, at the last meeting, we had a teleconference with Yo and Yo, but at the same time, we had a conference with their partner group that does recruiting.
that?
And at that time, we requested that they send us their information so that we could go forward and obtain a temporary administrator. So they sent us the information that they have. And it's just up to us to go ahead now and accept the contract for $3,950. They'll begin work finding us an interim administrator until we can get our act together and find a normal, a regular one, if you will. So that's what the.
Does anybody have any questions or discussion on this?
If there are any questions, I'd make a motion that we would approve the contract for $3,950 for Yo and Yo Advisory Solutions.
Okay, do I have a second?
Or
Steve supported it. And again, the roll call.
Commissioner Gay,
Yes.
Commissioner Sapsy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bailey,
Yes.
Commissioner Bunting.
Yes, motion passed.
And, oh, I'm sorry. And I was gonna put into that motion that the chair, board vice chair can sign the contract.
I don't know that it needs to be in the motion. I think she
Okay.
can.
As long as
As
long as it's in our policy, that's fine. I was just thinking, I don't wanna hold up the works. We gotta get
Got
going
it.
on this.
I can sign it. Okay. We're gonna miss it right here.
Yes, please. I can fill in the rest.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Consideration of unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? How about you, Mr. Clark, Sheriff? Okay. How about our prosecuting attorney? Do you have anything you'd like to say or?
Plenty of unfinished business, but nothing for the board.
I came down here to hide.
Okay. Just want to make sure we cover everybody here. Additional public comments or board comments? Okay. Mr. Bailey, would you like to make any other comments?
I'm fine.
Okay, Mr. Gay,
I motion to adjourn.
I haven't got through the whole part here. Mr. Shopsy, do you have anything you'd like to say? And,
Second his.
okay, you'll second it? Okay, would you have anything to say? You have anything to say?
I do.
Okay. So you made a motion to to adjourn?
Yep.
Do I have a second?
Yep.
Did a second?
Yep.
All those approve, say aye.
All right.
Anybody opposed? Nay? Motion passed.
Yeah.